To transport resources, materials, and supplies across water, there are several options available to you. The versatile barge for deliveries almost everywhere, the fast Krokodil, or light freighter, for seaport to seaport deliveries, the iron ship, or freighter, for bulk deliveries, and the Bowhead, or resource ship, for bulk collection and transport of raw resources. The barge can be made at a shipyard with basic materials. To locate a shipyard, press M to open the map and look for the anchor icon, or hold down the shift key and left-click the anchor icon in the legend on the left twice to isolate all shipyards on the map. Bring 150 basic materials and some diesel to the shipyard. Both BMATs and diesel can be produced in the refinery with salvage. Get close to the shipyard and press E to open its menu. In the production panel on the right, left-click on the icon of the barge to place its blueprint alongside the pier. Walk up to the blueprint and hammer in the necessary BMATs. When the barge is built, open your inventory by pressing Tab and click on the can of diesel to put it into your third equipment slot. Escape out of your inventory and press 3 to equip the can. Aim at the barge and hold down the left mouse button to refuel the barge. If a fuel container or fuel truck with diesel is nearby, you can also open the menu of the barge by pressing E and clicking the refuel button. In the menu of the barge, you will also see the little orange lock icon, showing you that you can store it in a reserve stockpile. For this, hop into the driver's seat by pressing Q. Then, to be able to sail, press F to raise the ramp and sail towards the seaport. Press E to open the menu of the seaport, select your reserve stockpile in the top right, and click the Submit Vehicle button. Retrieving the barge is easy. Make sure one of the piers is empty, open the reserve stockpile, and click the barge icon. This will assemble it alongside the pier of the seaport. Barge has 15 free inventory slots, and on the deck of the barge you can place a vehicle or attach one shippable via a crane to its surface. For deliveries to places without easy access, you can use a normal truck and fill its inventory with 15 crates of supplies. Drive it onto the deck of the barge and press Q to hop out of the truck. If you cannot drive up to the ramp, you can alternatively package the truck, turning it into a shippable, and hoist it onto the deck of the barge where it will stay as a packaged truck. Then walk to the barge's cabin and press Q to hop into the driver's seat. Press E to open the seaport's menu and retrieve 15 more crates into the inventory of the barge. Then escape out of the menu, press F to raise the ramp and sail to your destination. When coming close to a bridge, simply press E to open the bridge, and when past the bridge, press E again to close the bridge behind you. To travel borders, simply sail up to the border and press E to travel over. The barge can deploy its ramp on beaches, shipyards, dry docks, docks at seaports, and naval piers. Simply maneuver the barge close to one of those near your destination and press F to lower the ramp. If your truck is still packaged, walk onto the ramp and press Shift E and select the truck to unpackage it. Drive the truck to the destination, base or depot, and press E to open its menu. In the bottom right, right-click on the crates in the truck's inventory and select Submit All to Stockpile. Drive back to the barge and hop out onto the deck. Press Shift E to select the barge, retrieve the crates, press Shift E again to select your truck and transfer the crates into it to do your final delivery. Instead of the truck, you can hoist or drive other vehicles onto it as well, with the exception of flatbeds, heavy trucks, buses, and supertanks. Alternatively, you can also place shippables on deck of the barge. These range from shipping, fuel and resource containers, emplacement guns, through vehicle and structure crates, all the way to package aircraft fuselages and aircraft parts on a pallet. When transporting shippables, make sure that a crane is available at the destination to hoist it off of the barge. To transport supplies from one seaport to another, you can use the Krokodil, or light freighter. These are also made at a shipyard and cost 100 basic materials. Press E to open the menu of the shipyard and left-click the light freighter icon to place the blueprint next to the pier. Walk up to it and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the basic materials. Equip a can of diesel, aim at the Krokodil and hold down the left mouse button to refuel it. Press E to open its menu, and in the top left you will see that the Krokodil has 2 free inventory slots, and on the right you will find the stockpile for 60 crated supplies. Also on the left is the little orange lock icon showing you that you can store it inside a reserve stockpile. The Krokodil has 2 seats, a spotter seat which allows you to spot up to 230 meters ahead by holding down the right mouse button, and the driver's seat which lets you sail the Krokodil. To store the Krokodil, sail it to a seaport and open its menu by pressing E. Select your reserve stockpile in the top right and click the Submit Vehicle button. To retrieve the Krokodil, go to the seaport where you stored it and make sure a pier is empty. Open the menu of the seaport, select your reserve stockpile and click the icon of the Krokodil to assemble it. Hop into the driver's seat by pressing Q and press E to open the seaport. In the bottom left, select the stockpile of the Krokodil and then open your reserve stockpile. Click on crates of supplies to transfer 1 at a time, shift-click to transfer 3 at a time, or right-click and select Retrieve Custom to transfer up to 15 at a time. The cargo hold of the Krokodil will show the amount of crates that are in its stockpile. The crates inside the stockpile of the Krokodil are Disassembled Crates. This means they cannot be directly submitted into the stockpile of a base. If you pull a crate from the stockpile of a Krokodil and hover over it, you will see the line of orange text informing you of this. And if you try to submit it into a base stockpile, you will get an error message telling you that it needs to be reassembled by submitting it to a depot or seaport. When your Krokodil is fully loaded, you can sail towards your destination seaport. If necessary, you can refuel the Krokodil while on the water. Simply hop onto the deck, equip a can of diesel and hold down the left mouse button to refuel the Krokodil. When supplying a seaport close to enemy territory, be aware of enemy coastal guns. These will target and shoot inaccurately at all small ships within 200 meters and accurately within 150 meters of it. If your ship is damaged, you cannot repair it from the deck. It can only be repaired from land, another ship, or at the shipyard. To repair it at the shipyard, open the shipyard menu and make sure 50 BMATs are in its inventory. Then click the Full Repair button in the Actions panel. This will fully repair the ship docked next to the pier. When arriving at your destination, get close to the seaport and press E to open its menu. Select the stockpile you want to submit to in the top right, and in the bottom left, select your Krokodil stockpile. Right-click any of the crates and in the drop-down choose Submit All to Stockpile to transfer all crates to the seaport. The iron ship, or freighter, is the flatbed of the seas and can be used to transport supplies, raw resources, vehicles, and/or shippables in bulk. These are also made at the shipyard and will cost you 500 basic materials. If you open the shipyard's menu by pressing E and hover over the freighter icon, you can see that it will cost you 100 times 5 basic materials. This means that when building, every hammer stroke will put in 5 BMATs. Click the icon to place the blueprint alongside the pier of the shipyard and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. When the freighter is built, walk on deck and press E to open its menu. Here you can see in the top left that it has 10 free inventory slots and on the right that it has 5 slots that hold shippables. If a fuel container or fuel tank is nearby, you can click the refuel button to automatically start refueling the freighter. Also in the top left you will find the orange lock icon indicating its reservable status. The freighter has 3 seats, a passenger seat that is located in front of the loading bay and is only accessible when close to the seat itself, a spotter seat that allows you to spot around for up to 145 meters by holding down the right mouse button, and the driver's seat, which allows you to drive the freighter. Press Q to hop into the driver's seat and sail to a seaport. Press E to open its menu and select your reserve stockpile in the top right. Click the Submit Vehicle button to submit the freighter into your reserve stockpile. To use the freighter, make sure a pier next to the seaport is empty and press E to open the seaport menu. Open your reserve stockpile and click the iron ship icon to assemble it alongside the seaport. When it is assembled, walk on deck and hop into the driver's seat. Press E to open the stockpile of the seaport to transfer crates of supplies or materials into the inventory of the freighter. When the 10 inventory slots are full, or if you have what you need, escape out of the menu and press F to deploy the freighter. This will open the loading bay doors, allowing you to hoist the shippables into the freighter. Get into a stationary crane by pressing Q and open the seaport's menu by pressing E. Assemble a shipping container and fill it with crated supplies. Then click the Package Loading Area Equipment button to package it. Hold the right mouse button to aim the crane on the container and press the left mouse button to hoist it up when the connection icon appears. Aim inside the loading bay of the freighter and once again left click to load the container into the freighter. If you open the freighter's menu now, you can see that the shipping container is in the first shippable slot. You can load all types of shippables into the loading bay of the freighter. The only exceptions are all the package train carts, which are too large to fit into the freighter. When you have fully loaded your freighter, you can hop into the driver's seat and press F to close the loading bay doors, or undeploy the freighter. Sail to your destination, and you can empty the inventory of your freighter by simply opening the seaport menu and right-clicking the crates inside the inventory and choosing Submit All to Stockpile in the drop-down menu to transfer all crates. Left-clicking and shift-left-clicking the items in the inventory will transfer them or entire stacks into the inventory of the seaport. To get the shippables out, press F to open the loading bay doors, or deploy the freighter, then get into the crane and hoist out all shippables. The loading bay operates with a first-in, first-out system, which means that the shippable shown inside the loading bay, and therefore the one that you are going to hoist out, is the shippable you put into the freighter first. To transport massive amount of raw resources from island resource fields, you can use the Bowhead or resource ship. It is built in a dry dock and will cost 8 naval hull segments and 15 naval shell plating. and it uses heavy oil as fuel. Come to the dry dock and press E to open its menu. Make sure that the necessary segments and plating are in the stockpile of the dry dock and click on the Bowhead icon. A pop-up will first explain that other faction members are supposed to be helping with operating large ship, but that the squad that reserved them has the highest level of control over it. Another pop-up will then ask you if you want to reserve the ship to your squad. The squad reservation allows squad members to eject players from the driver's seat and means that non-squad members can not raise or lower the anchor nor change the direction of the engines. Pressing yes will reserve the ship for 2 days to your active squad. This can be refreshed. When the production starts, the dry dock will be emptied of water and the cranes start to operate. When the production is finished, water will be let back into the dry dock and the ship will automatically be anchored. To refuel it, you can carry cans of heavy oil, walk on deck towards the cabin and hold down the left mouse button to refuel. The easier way is parking a fuel truck with heavy oil between the cranes, opening the menu of the Bowhead and clicking the refuel button. The ship has 2 seats, the spotter seat, which allows you to look around for up to 230 meters by holding down the right mouse button, and the driver's seat, which allows you to drive the ship. Below deck, in the back or aft of the ship, you will find 2 engines, whose status or direction can be viewed by pressing E and can be changed by using a wrench. Further towards the middle of the ship is the loading bay, which, if you open its menu by pressing E, reveals 2 more stockpiles and another inventory in the ship. 1 vehicle stockpile that allows you to transport 10 harvesters, and a structure stockpile that can hold 20 resource containers, 20 concrete mixers, and 20 construction equipment. To drive the ship out of the dry dock, open the dry dock menu and click the Open Dock Area button. Then make sure all ramps are retracted and climb on top of the bow of the ship, and when near the anchor icon, press E to raise the anchor. With the anchor raised, hop into the driver's seat to set sail away from the dry dock. To aid with turning, you can change the direction of the engines. Go below deck with a wrench and crouch next to an engine. Left click to start changing direction of the engine. Having both engines work in opposite directions will make the ship turn on the spot while stationary. To load in the resource harvesting equipment, position your ship close to the shore and deploy the anchor. Go below deck into the storage bay and press E to open the hatch doors. Bring a resource container and hoist it into the loading bay of the Bowhead with a crane. When the container touches the loading bay floor, it will open the menu of the Bowhead. Click the Submit Loading Area Equipment button to submit the container into the Bowhead. The procedure for harvesters is the same. To unload the harvesting equipment, sail towards your destination and make sure a crane is available there. Anchor your ship and open the loading bay hatch doors. Then press E to open the loading bay stockpile, select the vehicle stockpile, and left-click on the harvester icon to assemble it onto the loading bay floor. Then press Shift E, select the harvester, and click the package button in the actions panel. When it is packaged, you can hoist the harvester out onto the land and unpackage it. To hoist out the containers, do the same. Use your harvester to fill your resource containers, then package the containers and hoist them into the loading bay. When they land in the loading bay, they will open the menu of the resource ship. In the top right, select one of the 3 raw resource stockpiles, and then right-click the raw resources in the container and click Submit All to Stockpile. Just like the resource container and resource truck, the resource stockpile of the Bowhead allows for the storage of different types of raw resources at once. When your resource ship is filled, put the harvester and container back into the stockpile of the ship. Close the hatch and raise the anchor to sail back to your refinery town. Anchor your ship near the shore and open the hatch. Assemble a container onto the loading bay pad. Get into a crane and open the menu of the ship. Select the resource stockpile on the right and right-click the raw resources in there. Select Retrieve Custom and click Retrieve to transfer 1500 raw resources at a time into the container. When the container is full, click the Package Loading Area Equipment button, hoist the container on the back of the flatbed truck and drive it to the refinery for further processing. Be sure to always anchor the ship when you are not sailing. While the anchor is down, all the damage received by the ship will not result in a larger leak. It will also activate the small AI naval turret, which will target all amphibious vehicles and ship, with the exception of other large ships, within a 75 to 200 meter circle around it. As is tradition, a big thank you to Crowd9er, without whom's help the script would have been worse and the freighter and Bowhead part might have been shorter or even non-existent.
Wo willst du hin, so uferlos, die kalte See? Komm in mein Boot.